Welcome to What's Your I Can Conversations, the podcast that breathes life into the pages of What's Your I Can. Realize your I can in purpose, business, and family. Listen, I am your host, Kristy Angelee, National Single Mom speaker, businesswoman, writer, and media personality. And I'm delighted to have you join us on this journey. Get ready because we're here to amplify the voices of single moms, celebrate their achievements, challenge stereotypes, raise awareness, and more. In addition to our regular episodes, we have a special segment called Candid Single Moms Conversations, where we dive even deeper into the unique experiences and perspectives of single moms. Through these conversations, we aim to foster a deeper future together. Today, I am so thrilled to introduce you to our guest, the amazing Sarah. So, without further ado, let's dive right in. Now, Sarah, we had a chance to, kind of vibe before the show started, and you were saying some really, mind shifting information with me concerning single moms and married couples that may still be, living in the land of a single parent home. Can you share? Let's talk about that. What does that look like from your perspective?
Hi, thank you for having me, Kristy. It's an honor to be here and I'm really excited about the work you're doing. That kind of concept of what it looks like to be a single mother and how kind of society has made it seem like, oh, it's a choice or it's something that you've chosen to do, or it's something that you're doing, but it's not the best for your children, for your child or children. Kind of that negative framework that society has kind of put on single motherhood, or even, we're part of that society, even that stigma that we put on ourselves that we're not enough. Early on in my single motherhood journey, I've been a single mom since day one. And I guess, even with all my sense of accomplishments, degrees and career and home life, and I always felt like I wasn't enough. Like somehow my child didn't, like I didn't have the tools. He was missing out. And I was talking to a friend of mine, and I kind of would frame the context of my life and even in all my accomplishments with, well, because I'm a single mom, and it was coming from a negative context, and like I was less than, and I didn't, because you don't want to, it's not something to brag about, but you can be, proud in your accomplishments as you're a good mother and you have what it takes, which I wasn't there yet. And a friend of mine, a pastor, was like, Sarah, you need to stop saying, oh, I'm a single mom. And in that context, like, you're not enough. There are so many families out there that have 2-parent households, a husband and a wife, and the women are single mothers. The father is maybe in the house, but not in the house, not parenting, not co-parenting, not, and, it's not just about 2-parent households isn't just about, 2 incomes or, the mother staying home with the kids. It requires both parents to parent. And a lot of married women feel like single mothers. And I kind of had that epiphany because I do want to get married, and I never planned on being a single mom. But that epiphany that, oh, just because I maybe found a husband or a father for Ethan one day, somehow that was going to be like a better life for Ethan, or I was going to be a better mother. That's not true. And I have everything that it takes right now. God's given me the tools, and I can build the community around me to give my son the best life that he could have, even as a single mother, despite being a single mother, because having a man in your life doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be a better parent or your child's going to have a better quality of life. And that epiphany was, I'm not saying that right after that, I became this like optimistic, positive, like I'm fabulous single mom, but it started the journey for me to have this vision of manifesting the life I love as a single mother. Like right now, not waiting for things to happen or me to meet the person to manifest the life that I want. And then that's kind of how my mind shift started.
That is a beautiful mind shift because it takes a seed. I say you were given a seed once your pastor, gave you a different way of looking at single mom, because a lot of people, a lot of single moms use that as a negative thing. I'm a single mom,
Correct.
and
Yeah.
making you feel as if you're handicapped, you have an impediment, like you are, not worthy of the finer things or the life of abundance, and you live like that. They have to automatically, they assume automatically, because I'm single mom, oh, I have to get on welfare, I have to do these things, I have to take a low paying job. But it's not
Or
true.
I'm always
And
going to
you
be
are
in
one
debt. Yeah.
to, yeah,
I can't
exactly. You
travel. I
can't
can't.
own your home.
Yeah.
So there is a lot of stereotype and stigmas that comes along with, just that word of being a single mom, and the way people are looking and automatically assume single moms should live. And it's a learned behavior. We learn it from our, four, generations before us. And if we don't break it, then it'll continue to, travel or whatever. But it's not, like you stated earlier, single mom is not, this is not a pass for whoever may be watching. This is not a pass to say, oh, I'm going to go and be a single mom. That's not what we're saying. If you so happen, this so happened to be your journey, there is still a life of abundance. I always believe in Jeremiah
Yeah.
29:11 that it is not changed. The thought that he thinks towards you before you became a single mom, they're the same thoughts. Things may have to, may have to rework a little bit, and do some things differently, but the thoughts he thinks, they're still of good and not of evil. And thinking of that, or talking about that, and you manifesting, you have a book.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that. What
Yeah.
is that all about, and how you
Mhm.
became to manifest yourself and putting it in a form that is tangible? It can be shared. It can be, I love writing in the margins of books, listening to other people's thoughts, but then again, gaining my own thoughts from a book that I've read, because again, we all have our experiences and we can learn from one another. Let's share. Let's talk about your
Yeah.
book.
So I'm actually I wrote a chapter in a collective of book. It's called Sincerely Sisterhood, and it's a group of women. We came together. We all have faith based, but really just about supporting our journey and our life stories. We came from different backgrounds, and some are married, some are single, some are divorced, some are widowed. But we just had an opportunity, like what living in community, what does that look like, and sharing our story from that perspective. And for me, it was, what does living in community, being in community, creating that village, for me, it was like, what is my life, what is my life story in that context, and what is, and as a single mother, what does that look like? And I grew up, I'm the oldest of 11 children. There's 12 of us. I'm the oldest of 11. And I'm the first on my both sides of my family to get a degree. And my mom was married, and we had a huge family. And we struggled, and we society kind of judged my mom for having all those kids. And so I just kind of grew up with this little, like, this chip, not a chip on my shoulder, but this drive to prove myself and to get my family to have an amazing quality of life. I thought I had the weight of the world on my shoulders at a young age, to go to college and get a career and help my brothers and sisters to break generational curses. That was my life's mission. And I did help. I've helped all of my brothers and sisters in some form or fashion. They're all older now. And I moved to Austin to go to college, and they all shortly followed. And then when I became a single mom at 28, I was working on my master's degree. I had a career in social work. Worked with foster children. And I, had plans. I was very ambitious and very involved in the community. And when I got pregnant at 20, I had just turned 28, and I wasn't married, but I had all these other sense of accomplishments. And I was like, okay, I always imagined that I would be married, and I wasn't, but I knew that I had what it takes. God had given me the ability to just overcome adversity and be a parent, be a mother. Because I was in many ways like my mom and I raised each other. Where she's, had me at 17. So I, was a mom my whole life. And I was almost done with my second degree. I owned my own home, and I was like, okay, I can do this. And so when I wrote the chapter in the book, it was, part of it is my childhood, my experiences, kind of the struggles that I overcame, with a large family, being part of a large family. And then what I struggled with in my thinking that I'm not enough and I have to prove myself. I always felt this need to prove myself. And that didn't go away when I became a mom. But I just finding a partner wasn't for me what I needed to prove. It was that I can have an amazing career as a mother, that I can provide financially for my son with or without child support, and that I was not a burden on society. That was what I felt like was the weight then weighing on my shoulders. And so my journey has been create a village. My home has been, having a home was a blessing before I became a mom, because it created opportunities for me to create wealth, for me to create a business in my home while I was in graduate school, because it was hard to work full time and get my master's when he was a baby. So I had an in-home business. And then after I graduated, I rented rooms for others. I had 3 single moms at some point when my son was little live with me, and rent little discounted rent for them, affordable place to live for them, but it helped me pay my mortgage. And then we built a community. We helped each other. We parented each other's kids. When the other person had to go to work, there was another mom there. And I felt like that journey, that story, the good and the bad, like, was worth sharing so that other moms can see, like, whatever resources God gives you, how can you figure out how to use them?